Hey boys and girls, Darth the Junkman here. I'm being silly, y'all. But looking like I just woke up, I did a 17-hour marathon camera install at a building, and I'm whooped. I done went to sleep, kind of rejuvenated myself, but I'm back. But the reason I'm making this video is it's someone come to me with a garage full of computer parts, and they call themselves building some gaming machines, and this is the difference between Bubba and somebody that knows what they're doing. Because Bubba built this one, I'm about to just tear down all the way to the ground and start all over with it again. Because it ain't no fixing this. It's giving beep codes like the memory's bad or something. So I got to figure out what's wrong with it. But let me show you what this thing looks like, because I ain't going to show you me actually rebuilding it. I'm going to just show you the before and after. So it's just going to be a short video. But let me bring you around and let you see what the inside of this thing looks like, because it is a complete mess. Here we go. All right, check it out, boys and girls. Look at the inside of this thing. And the thing about it is it's got a glass window on it. It's not like you couldn't see this. I mean, this is the way this guy built this computer. Holy Toledo. This thing is a mess. I mean, man, these are the guys you don't want building your boxes. You do not want people like this building your boxes. That is a mess. So I want y'all to see the before. And I don't even know what's in it yet. I don't even know if it's even worth my time to rebuild it. But I'm going to see. It looks like it's got some decent parts in it. I mean, beside all the stuff that ain't plugged up, that's a 850 watt. Is that 850? Yeah, 850 watt power supply. So it looks like it's got some decent stuff in it. I see one solid state drive over there. Right there. I don't even know what brand that is. Don't look like it has much RAM. I see 2 sticks. They could be 16 gigs each. I think it's got Windows 10 on it. No, I don't have no problem with that. And it's got a good board. It's got an Asus board, and it's a Rogue board, Republic of Games. For those of you who don't know what Rogue stands for, looks like it's got a decent video card in it. It's got a Sound Blaster Odyssey, or Sound Blaster Z video or sound card in it. Which, if you come around the back here, let me put some light back here. Yeah, it's a decent board. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. And we'll see. It's in a cheap case, man. It's one of them Newegg do-it-yourself cases, and it's I mean, it was like the cheapest one they build. It's a case you put somewhere where there's a lot of dust and dirt, because you don't really care about the case. But we'll see. We'll see. Once I get it apart, we'll see what we got, and we'll start from there. All right, here we go. All right, boys and girls, I've just about got this thing taken apart, but I had to let you see this. Look right there. If anybody ever builds you a computer and they use duct tape, you know you dealing with Bubba. Oh my God. I've never seen duct tape inside a computer before. That's a new one. But yeah, there's duct tape. Man, there's hacks, and then there's this guy. All right, let me continue on. All right, check this out, boys and girls. He's got an exhaust fan on the bottom of the computer. The only problem is he's got it turned backwards. It's pushing air into the case. And you want to exhaust air out of the case. So if you look at the label, the back of the fan I mean, it's real obvious what the front and the back is. They used to have arrows on the fans that show you which way the air flow. But I guess they figured if you building these things, you know what you're doing. But that back of the label, that tells you which way the air is going to go. It's coming out that side. So it was supposed to be turned the other way. But again, Bubba. Here we go. Hey, boys and girls. Looks like we got some more surprises from Bubba. Look at this. There's something spilled on the Odyssey Z card. That was a good sound card. That was a nice sound card when it came out. And it still is. Still a nice sound card. But this is the SRX. I've got the Z. I don't even know if I got it in my machine or not. No, I think I took it out. But yeah, look at that, man. Come on. Come on, Bubba. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right, here we go. All right, boys and girls, check this out. Now, as you can see, I've pretty much taken everything out of the computer. The only thing left is the motherboard. Now, this is what I do when someone who doesn't know anything about building computers tries to call themselves building a gaming machine, and they done looked at somebody's YouTube videos and they finding out that it ain't as easy as somebody who does it for a living makes it look. There's a lot more work to it. So that's why you don't start out trying to build something like this. You start out with something simple, and then you work your way up. The best thing to do is, you could start out with something that you can upgrade as you go. But to try to put a monstrosity together like this as your first build, it's gonna look like crap. And this one did. I mean, good Lord, this thing was a mess. Now, I go to take the motherboard out. Now, let me show you something here, for those of you who don't know. The screws that hold the motherboard in the computer, I'm gonna point to them. 1, 2, and there's 3 right there. And then there's 4 right there. There's 5. There's 6. And then over here, I can hit my head. There's 7. There's 8. And then there's 1 back here. So there's 9 screws. This computer had 2 screws holding the motherboard in, and they were the wrong kind of screws. Bubba, come on, man. Oh, man. Bubba. Man, Bubba. All right. Just wanted y'all to see that. Here we go. All right, boys and girls, check this out. This is the CPU cooler. Now, look at how much thermal compound was on this thing. That is freaking ridiculous. And the guys that don't know anything about building computers, they have that mentality: if 1x is good, 2x is like 10 times better, when it's exactly the opposite. You don't need, that's enough thermal compound to probably do about 5 CPUs right there. That's ridiculous. But this is what Bubba does. So that's why when somebody brings me a computer like this and wants me to figure out their headache, first of all, the whole thing comes apart. I take the entire thing, because this is the kind of crap that I want to avoid and find. So I take the entire computer apart. Everything comes out. And I rebuild the entire computer. If it's something real obvious, I can fix it that way. Like for example, this one was beeping because one of the RAM DIMMs wasn't even plugged all the way in. It was sticking up in the air. That was probably why the thing wouldn't come on. But because the inside looked like it did, it's just such a wreck, I didn't even want to deal with it. It's one of those kind where I'm going to just take the entire thing apart, and put it back together one piece at a time. $195 what I charge to do that. That's the way I troubleshoot a problem like that. Because I'm not going to, quote unquote, fix it, hand it to you, and then you be back 2 days later because there's another problem that you created and that I didn't catch because I didn't take the computer apart. So I'm going to take the whole thing apart, like I said, gut it out, start all over brand new, just so I can find crap like this. That's ridiculous. That's Bubba for you. Come on, man. Bubba. All right, boys and girls, I have cleaned up this case. Let me put some more light on it. This thing was a mess. But I went through it, cleaned it all up, made it look nice and new again. Apparently this computer ran at one time. I even cleaned all the fans up, made them look like new. So now, I'm gonna put this puppy together. Oh, let me show you this. This is crazy. Let me, this little device here was in front of the computer. It's taking up one of the bays. It's that kind of crap we used to buy back in the 90s that was unnecessary, but it was kind of, I guess, cool looking back then. And it's like a fan regulator. It has a digital display, and it controls the fans in the computer. Well, let me show you one of these wires. Let me find it here. Which one is it? Okay, where's it at? When I first saw it, I was looking at it, I was like, what's the deal with this? What kind of wire is this? Why can't I see it anymore? Oh, come on now. Oh, I don't see it because, no, that's not it. Let's see here. I can't believe I don't see it. It stood out like a sore thumb the first time I saw it. Ah, there it is. Or is it? Okay. Let me, I must have unplugged it. Let me locate it, and then I'll come back to you all, because you got to see this. I'll be right back. Okay, boys and girls, I found it. I had unplugged it, that's why. Look at this closely. See that? And that, my friends, is overcurrent damage. Something got really, really hot. Whoop. I almost dropped the phone. Something got really, really hot. Get back in focus. To cause it to melt like that. Look at that. Yep, something got really, really hot. So it puts me in a dilemma. I'm not going to put this freaking thing back in this computer. It's going in the trash. But I don't have the case or all the parts to the case that went there. So that means there's a hole there now. And I need to fix that. I need to get that taken care of. I need to fill it with something. And it also had 2 DVD players in it. Well, yeah, I mean, most computers are coming with no DVD players now. So I'll at least put one back in it, but I need to find something to fill up 2 spots. Either that, or I need to figure out who manufactures this case and get some spare parts for it if I can. I don't even know if I want to go through that headache. But yeah, stuff like it's crap. It's that cheap Chinese made stuff that, like I said, it really served no worthwhile purpose. It was just looks. and it didn't even look that good. So it's more Bubba stuff. All right, let's continue on. Okay, boys and girls, this thing has a screen that goes on the bottom of it to keep dirt from getting in here. It's kind of weird because I guess you could pull air from the bottom. If you pull the air from the bottom and send it up into the computer, uh, the screen would work, or it would come in handy. But if you're pushing air out, like what I plan on doing, if I put some fans down there, it's kind of mute. But I'm gonna put that on there. Now, in the front here, where you got these two fans, that's where the screen should be. What they've done is the front of the case, if you look inside this, that bracket, they could have made that bracket so it comes out. And I tried to think, I said, now why would they not make it so it comes out? So that you can clean it. So it's like melted in there, it ain't coming out. You can't remove it without tearing up the front of the case. But I was thinking, why would they make it this way instead of making it so it's removable? Well, the reason is the whole front panel, as you can see, comes off the machine and there is no electrical on it. So you can take this to the sink and run water and rinse it all out, shake it out real good, and you don't have to worry about damaging any electronic components. So that's why they did it that way. But at least they did put a screen in the front there so that these two fans ain't sucking up all that dirt and blowing it into the computer. Now, I'll tell you this. If I got a machine with a whole bunch of fans on it, I'm going to set that puppy up on my desk so that it doesn't do that. Like, I'll show you my computer. Like, over here, I've got 3 in the front. I've got 1 in the back. I've got my CPU, and I've got 2 on top. So I've got all that air moving through the computer, not to mention the video card. And my CPU fan, the fans that you see, I normally don't buy these kind because they're controlled by a remote. And I never use those, but I've gotten over they call those AGB fans, RGB fans, RGB fans. I've gotten over my RGB phase where I have to control everything. So I just put it on random with this remote, and it just randomly does what it does. You know, it just randomly changes colors, randomly patterns and everything. However, on the CPU and the RAM, the 2 white sticks you see there, those are controlled by the motherboard. Those are what we call a RGB, addressable RGB. So right now I've got them set so that when you hear sound, they light up. So I'll play a video, and once it starts talking, you will hear sound. Let me see here. Did I pick one? I picked a video with no sound. Let's try this one.
I'm Ben Meiselas from the Midas Touch Network. Video has surfaced of Donald Trump.
So as you can see, they light up when it hears audio. So when I'm playing my games, you know, it's just all exploding and all the color, and you can tell it what color to be, but that's what we call addressable RGB. The motherboard in my machine and the motherboard going in this one, well, here it is right here. Motherboard going in this one are both made by Asus, and they're both Rogue boards, except for this one is getting an AMD processor, as you can see. That's what it has. So it'll be interesting to see how well it performs. So here we go. All right, boys and girls, I'm about to, well, I should say I was about to set the video card on the board, and I said, no, let me put the CPU cooler on first. And so I went to take the video card out of the slot, and I'm trying to release it. And I'm looking and looking and looking. And then I finally noticed something. You see this little, get my fingers in there. You see this little piece right here? When you put a video card on the motherboard, this locks into place. It holds the back end of the card in. Look over here. That piece is missing. Bubba. 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 Okay, boys and girls, I have my thermal compound on my CPU. As you can see, it's you take a tiny bit and just spread it and just keep spreading it till you get it to cover the CPU. It only takes a tiny bit. And this guy, Bubba, he had thermal compound on everything. He was like, good Lord, I cleaned all that crap up. So I got rid of all that now. I mean, it was a decent machine. You know, it's got 32 gig of RAM. 32 gig, good RAM, goes there. And this processor is it's a Ryzen 9 12 core, I believe. Good motherboard. I mean, Bubba bought good equipment. He just was a hack when it came to putting stuff together. So when I get this puppy together, I'm going to figure out how much I'm going to sell it for. Yeah, I have to figure that out. So let me get this CPU cooler on here and see what we got. Here we go. Okay, the CPU cooler is mounted. Nice and flush. I didn't put any thermal compound on the CPU cooler. Strictly on the processor. Spread it really, really thin. I don't like how they have a cable coming out of both sides. Like they got a cable coming out this side and then two cables coming out this side. They should take them all to one side. But this is the CPU fan, obviously. And these other two cables are probably some type of color. As I look at them, let me see if they say anything. USB. Well, that's interesting. I wonder what that does. I've never seen a USB controller come off of a processor. A fan. That's weird. Let's see what else they got here. It's USB too. So that'll take up two of the USB slots. It's weird. USB. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was going to say it didn't look like it had enough pins, but yeah, it does. It'll be interesting to see what that does. But, okay, let me continue on building this bad boy. And we'll fire her up here on the bench and see what she will do. Here we go. Oh, check this out. I want to explain why I did it this way. This cable on this side is the CPU fan. Now, the CPU fan control is always on this side over here. It's always over here. So you would think that I should spin that around and have it on that side. But no. The reason I didn't is because these USB are going to have to go behind the board, come all the way down to this end of the board, and connect. And that's a big hunkering case over there. So that ain't going to work. Unless, it ain't going to work unless I run them on this side, because I don't want them coming across here the way he had it. That looked like garbage. So I want that to go behind the motherboard all the way down and then hook up on this side. And as you can see, they are pretty long enough to do that. And then the CPU, the nice thing about it is I'm able to hide it. See here, yeah, I'm able to hide it so it looks a lot neater. If I put it on this side, then you got all that bunch of cords you got to wrap up. So that's why I did it that way, just in case any of you builders were wondering. All right, here we go. All right, boys and girls, I've got this bad boy put together on the bench, and everything's plugged up, ready to go. So I am now going to hit the power and see what happens. Okay, so the motherboard, this is typical of the new Rogue series or newer Rogue series boards. They have these things that light up even when the computer's off. Well, mine does that too. So there's that. I don't see anything else lighting up. So now we need to apply power. We need to push the power button. Let me see if I can do this and film it at the same time. There's two pins I need to short together. And it's hard to... I need some more light. I need some more light in here. There you go. I can halfway see now. Let's see here. Okay. There you go. So now, okay, there's the CPU with the RGB. It's plugged up. It's got a special RGB plug right there. And let's see if anything shows up on the monitor, which means that it booted successfully. I need to put a speaker on it. I've got a speaker. Yep, there you go. We got a screen. I'm going to plug a speaker in here because it was beeping before I disconnected everything. So that means there was a speaker on there. So I'm going to plug that up. Let me see what it's saying here. Please enter setup. Okay, that's what it normally says when you first build a machine. So I'm going to put a speaker on here. I want you all to see what the speaker does, because before it was beeping. And when a computer successfully beeps, when it passes the BIOS, the basic input-output system, or well, correction, when it passes the post, I meant to say, the power on self-test, it'll beep one time. And once it beeps one time, that's when something will show up on the screen. So one beep is always good. It means it passed the post, the power on self-test. So let me put a speaker on here. I'm going to reboot the machine and we're going to see what happens. Here we go. Okay, I've got the speaker plugged in. So now we're going to see what happens when we boot this puppy up with the speaker plugged in. I already know it's going to pass because of what I've seen on the screen. But like I said, it was beeping multiple times the first time I turned it on. Now I should only hear one beep. So let's see what we get here. Let me fire the power up. There you go. Power's going. How many beeps? Waiting, waiting, waiting. Still waiting. There you go. One beep and then the screen shows. So that tells me that this computer is successfully posting, as we call it, successfully passing the post, the power on self-test. And at this point, once it does the post, it hands the operating system off to the hard drive. Now, the hard drive that was in this machine is right here. Some brand I've never seen before, but it has a 3-year warranty. And see, it says warranty for 3 years. Yeah. Team Group. I've never heard of this brand SSD, but I'm gonna hook it up and see what it does. Obviously, if I'm fixing this computer, I'm wiping this thing empty anyway and reinstalling Windows. However, before I do that, I'm going to hook this up to my machine because I have software that will pull the Windows license off of this machine. And that Windows license is $100 plus, depending on which version of Windows it is. I know it's got Windows 10 on it, so I want to get that license. He saves the money that way. So I'm gonna get that license off his disk before I wipe it clean and reinstall Windows on it myself. So let's hook this drive up and see what happens. Here we go. Okay, I have the hard drive plugged in to the board and connected to the power supply. Let me go ahead and turn the power supply back on. Got our sign that the motherboard has power now. And now let me get some more light over here again so I can see myself hit the power button. There's the power button. We're going to wait for that one beep from the speaker to let us know we passed the post. Okay. Just checking all kinds of stuff. I got all kinds of lights going on. There goes my beep. Okay, my screen, there it comes. Now, let's see if it boots to the hard drive. No, because it's giving that BIOS error. I'm going to see if I can bypass that. Let me see if I can bypass it. I'm going to just hit enter. No, it won't let me. So I got to hit F1. I got to go into the BIOS, the basic input-output system. I'm not even going to do anything in here. I'm going to just go in and go right back out. Let me see here. I'm going to exit. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to tell it to load the optimized defaults. I mean, this takes the motherboard back to factory. And that's what I'm going to tell it to do. And then I'm going to tell it to boot, because that's where I want to start from. I want to take the motherboard back to the day it came out of the box and start from there, since that's what I'm doing. What happened? It should have exited. Or maybe I didn't tell it to exit yet. Exit? Okay, why is it not exiting? Wait a minute, does it give me a message here? Let's see, loads. All right, I'll just say save changes and reset. I know that's going to do something. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now let's see if it boots to the hard drive. There she goes. Give us that one beep. It's showing me colors. There goes my beep. Okay, and it appears that it is booting to the hard drive. There it goes. Loading Windows 10. So let's see what it does. Still going. That was an interesting flash. And Windows 10. Okay, so we know the computer works. So all I have to do now is put it in a case. Now, as for a gaming machine, I mean, this is a decent machine. I'd be tickled pink to have it. I wouldn't. It's got a modular power supply. Let me show you what I mean by modular. All of these cables that plug in to the front of this power supply, they plug in. They're not part of the power supply. So you only plug in the cables you need. Well, that helps you have a much cleaner install, number one. Number two, modular power supplies tend to be much better than the crap where all the cables come in there and you got to figure out how to hide them. See, I only plug in the cables I need. And I still got these laying on the floor over here that were in that machine. I don't know what they went to, but I had those in there. Yeah, I mean, it's got a 850 watt power supply. That's a good power supply. It's got a great motherboard. It's got 32 gig of RAM. Got plenty of RAM. Nice video card. It's got a great CPU. It's easily the foundation. You could like beef up the video card depending on what game you play, most people ain't gonna need more than what's in here. I got to look this up to see exactly what it is. But it's some sort of some model of GeForce GTX. So it's a great little machine. Just Bubba built it. At least Bubba picked some decent parts. So, and I ain't crazy about that case. That case is kind of big and gouty looking, and it's got cheesy fans that light up. Those are kind of cheesy. I mean, but it's a cheesy case. But somebody will like it. I mean, it's sturdy. It's a big sturdy case. It's metal. So, and back when I used to have a ton of hard drives, this would have came in handy. But I mean, it's a good case. It's just kind of big and gouty looking. But hey, this would be a great foundation for a gaming machine. And then for a lot of people, and I mean a lot, it would be a gaming machine. I mean, that's what it is, but I mean a really good gaming machine. If you wanted to spend crazy money on a video card and get frame rates out of the yin yang and all that kind of stuff. But as you can see, we got us a working box. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this inside the computer so that you'll have a before and after look at when Bubba builds a computer and when a Junkman builds a computer. So, like I said, it's running Windows 10. Here we go. All right, boys and girls, I put that hard drive in just to see if it would boot the computer and everything. It did. But I'm going to still wipe it clean and reinstall Windows, but I got to get the Windows license off. But instead of hooking it to my machine and using my software, there's another way I can do this also. And that's with a little program called the Bellark Advisor. Bellark Advisor. It's a free utility. You have to give up your email address to get it. Which, once you get it, don't ever lose it. Just keep it, because it'll update itself if they come out with newer versions. But I'm going to run that right now. This will give you all an opportunity to see how fast the machine's running. It's a great little machine. Let's see here. So it's installing. And I am going to say, I can barely see, I agree. And I'm going to go install. And I'm going to tell it to go ahead. Let me see what it's asking me to do. Yep, do this. It's going to ask me another question. I'm going to say do that. And then I'm going to tell it to skip this next step where it checks all of your network connections. But what it's basically doing is inventorying the entire computer. Okay, what's it saying here? Okay. So it's inventorying the entire computer. It will tell me exactly what every part, everything about the computer that you would probably want to know. So I just skipped the network summary there. So, okay, so there it is. And close all this junk. Stupid Edge wanting me to do all this crap. Let me see here. Okay, so now I'm gonna make this window a little bigger here. Hold on a second. I am going to do Control plus a bunch of times there. Actually, that was only about 3. So that you all can see, let me see if I can hold this without covering up the screen. So as you can see, it tells me what operating system I have there. And it tells me the CPU. Notice that CPU, the AMD Ryzen 9, It's a 12-core processor. That's a good daggone processor. That's a good daggone processor there. What else? It tells me how much RAM and stuff I have in the computer. Let's see here. Where is it at? There. No, that's the circuit board. The RAM is on down here. Yeah, clicking. So it shows me, I'm used to seeing where it shows the RAM slots. Okay, it shows that I've got 32 gig of RAM, or yeah, meg, I mean. But it doesn't show me the slots. Usually it shows the slots. It shows you what's in what slot. So that's the first time I've ever seen it show it this way. It's just showing a total. But it shows me, terabyte hard drive. It shows all of this stuff. And I mean, every kind of piece of information display driver is showing that I'm running an NVIDIA GeForce GTX. What is that? 16 gig super is what I'm running in this machine. So all kinds of information that it's showing. But one of the things that it also shows is it shows all of the software you have installed and all of the license keys that go to that software. So of course I'm not going to show that, but that printout right there, I'll just print it out and have that when I reinstall Windows. I can just take the license right off of there. So that's what I am going to do now. And let me show you let me see how fast the internet is running on this machine on my network. So let me go to, type this with one finger here, speedtest.net. Okay, let's see how fast this puppy goes. Oh yeah. Yeah, baby. Oh, it slowed down. Darn you. I had a cheap HP, I mean, just a piece of crap machine. It was hitting 900s. Now, my upload speed usually gets to 900. It's trying, but most of you would kill for upload speed. Like, this is how I get my videos to YouTube so fast. That's why I don't care how long they are. Because I can get them up there. So that download and upload speed, I'm on AT&T Fiber. And what I have found is that different machines give me different speeds. It's, like I said, I had an old cheap piece of junk HP that was hitting 900s up and down. And then I got this monster here. Well, it was nines up, 808 down, which ain't nothing to sneeze at, but still. It should have beat that crappy HP that I had on the network I was fixing. But I'm going to do that. And eventually we're going to get around to putting this puppy in the case. But I just wanted to show you that, how I get the license keys and stuff on a computer before I wipe it clean. Because most people don't even keep up with their licenses. I got every license for every software I bought since early 2000. I don't lose my licenses. So let me do that. And here we go. Okay, I am ready to install Windows. As soon as it restarts here, I'm going to jump in the BIOS and tell it which drive to boot from. I have a USB drive connected. One beep. I have a USB drive connected with Windows 10 installation tool that you can download for free and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go to easy mode here in the BIOS, and then it says boot menu there. I'm gonna choose my SanDisk. Yeah. And I thought it was just going to restart, but I guess I got to exit. Let me make sure. Okay, I'm going to say save and restart. See what that does. You've not made any changes. I don't know what's going on there, but okay, we'll see. So I'll know if it's booting. One beep. Remember that one beep? I'll know if it's booting to the SanDisk. Let me see here. It looks like it isn't, but hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. And no, it didn't. So let me do that again. Shut down and restart, I should say. Power. Restart. Yeah, I'm blind as a bat, y'all. Let's go back into BIOS. Yeah, usually when I double click on that, it tells it to boot to that. I don't know why it wasn't that time. Just the fun of when you're trying to make a video, you know, things don't always go the way they're supposed to, but ain't nothing we can't figure out. So I'm hitting the delete key so I can get back into BIOS. One beat, always good. And I should be in the BIOS. There I am. Let's go back to the boot tab, boot. And then we're going to go into easy mode. Okay. Aha! That's what I did wrong. I forgot to click on boot device. Okay, so my SanDisk is what I'm booting to. So I just click on it and it automatically boots to that. So that's what it's doing now. My SanDisk, which is back there sticking out right there. It's got my Windows 10 install disk. And as you can see, it's ready to install Windows 10. Now the only thing I'm going to show you is how fast it loads the files. Let's see here. I want to show you at least that part. I ain't going to have you sit through this. So let me go next. I'm going to say install now. And setup is starting, setup is starting. Okay. It wants the daggone license already. Okay, let me come back after I do the license. Here I go. Okay, got my license in there. I'm going to agree to the license agreement. I'm going to say next. Now, here's where I blow everything off that hard drive away. First, I'm going to do a custom install. And then you see all these partitions and everything that were created from his installation. I'm blowing all that away. I don't want anything left of what he did. Let's see here. I can't see. Yes, delete. Okay. And then delete. Okay. And delete. Okay, so now I've got a completely blank disk, like it's never been touched before. I'm going to say next. I could create my partitions and all this stuff, but I'm going to just let Windows do it. I'm going to say next. And now we get to see how fast that puppy loads up. So let me come in here a little closer where you can see. Okay, what's it doing? What's it doing? Is it doing anything? Okay, you know, it's figures. When I'm going to make a video with this stuff, I get something stupid happening. Normally it'd be done by now. So the second I stop videoing, it'll probably go. It's the way Murphy's Law works. But I'm going to go ahead and stop and see if I can figure out what's going on here. There I go. And it figures right when I stopped it is when it started. But it's copying the files extremely slow. And I don't know if it's this drive or what, but I'm gonna let it run and see what it does. Yeah, like I said, normally it goes a whole lot faster than this, but it is what it is. I'll be back when I'm done installing Windows. Here we go. Okay, boys and girls, I have finished installing Windows. I have installed all the drivers for the motherboard. One beep, one beep. So now it's booting up for the final time. And now it's time to put it in the case. So that will be the next step of the video. Putting this puppy in the case and making it look tons better than it did when I took it out of the case. Everything seems to be working fine, no problems. Runs good. I wish I had well, I'm gonna probably put the GeForce experience on here to give you all an idea of what it would play games like, because that GeForce experience is, man, that thing's pretty nice. So maybe I'll put that on there, since my favorite game, Unreal Tournament, appears to be have been taken offline permanently now. I mean, okay, so I'm 13 years living in the past, but I love that game. It was a great game. But alrighty, let's get her in the case and see what she does. There we go. Okay, boys and girls, I've got the motherboard mounted, and let me show you the most difficult part of this job. Those cables way back there, that's the CPU power. And then I had the RGB and USB cables coming off the CPU fan, the processor fan. Getting those puppies to hide as I have done and mounting that motherboard was a mother. I mean, good grief, that was a workout. But the only other option was to have them coming across the front of the motherboard looking like Bubba. That's the way Bubba did it. I will spend hours, if necessary, figuring out another way to do that. I would never drag cables across my board like that. I mean, it don't hurt anything, it just looks like crap. But as you can see, it is nice and neat inside there. And I've got them coming through the bottom where they will mount. And then I'm gonna start bringing my power supply in. All my power supply cables are gonna come through this hole. So let's get some stuff plugged in, get that power supply in here and see what she looks like. Here we go. So check it out, I'm on the back side of the computer where all the wires get hidden. And I am, as I'm putting all this together, I am thinking, I'm coming up with a plan of how I'm going to run all these wires. Now, most guys just stuff them back here, close the case up, because you won't see them. I'm of the mindset that one day somebody's going to take his computer apart. And when they take this lid off the back, they're going to see, it's going to speak volumes about my attention to detail. And although I probably will never know it, never hear about it, never see the expression on the person's face, I still take pride in my work. So I'm gonna make this back here as neat as possible. That's the Marine in me. So keep in mind that as you're putting it together, be thinking about this. How am I gonna run these wires? How am I gonna run that wire? Keep that in mind. So you'll see when I'm done what I've decided to do. Here we go. Okay, boys and girls, I've got the power supply sitting inside the machine. I don't have it mounted. As you can see, it moves. You want to do it this way because you want to make sure all of your cables are going to reach before you actually mount it. So the last thing you're going to do is mount it. And that's after you get the video card, the GPU mounted. So I'm getting an idea of how it's going to, all my cables are reaching. I can see that. So I'm good there. Notice, I ain't got nothing going across the front of that motherboard. Nothing going across the front of that motherboard. You want to be able to see all that beauty. So don't mount your power supply till you get everything plugged in. What else? There was something else I was going to say. Oh, yeah. See, I could make these cables a lot neater if I wanted to buy custom cables. Now, if I bought custom cables, I could route this all kinds of 50 ways to Sunday and they would look a lot better. But the inside of the case is black. The cables are black. Plus, if you look at the front of the... Let me reach around here and get it. Okay. Boy. Man. He did not take care of this. Okay, if you look at the front of the glass, that's going to be kind of hidden somewhat. I don't know why guys don't take care of their crap. But yeah, that's going to be somewhat hidden. So that's going to help hide that. I mean, but using the stock cables and stuff that came with it, you ain't got really much of a choice. There's not too much more you can do with that. Because those cables are tight. Look at me. Those cables are tight, so it is what it is. So I want to get it up and running, so I'm not going to be going through Amazon trying to get special cables and all that stuff for it. Here we go. All right, boys and girls, check it out. You cannot build a computer without looking at the daggone service manual. I mean, the user manual. You gotta look some of this stuff up. Like, I just plugged in the connector for the CPU fan. It's RGB. It's got colors. Actually, it's ARGB. It's addressable. So that plug has to be plugged up a specific way. If you flip this the wrong way, when you plug it in, you're going to hear a pop sound. You're going to see a little smoke disappear, and you fried that unit. It is now toast. So you got to double check, stuff you plugging up. Make sure you're plugging it up the right way. Things are distinctly marked so that they have to be plugged up a certain way. They have to be plugged into a certain connector. I mean, look at all of these things that stuff gets plugged into. You got to be able to identify this stuff, know where to plug it in. Plus, the motherboard comes with a whole bunch of cables that have to be plugged in. You got to know where to plug them in at. That's what the user manual is for. So, just wanted to make sure I emphasize that. Every motherboard on planet Earth has a user manual that you can look up. It tells you everything about the motherboard, where everything goes, what everything is, everything. Every motherboard has this. So, I don't have any documentation whatsoever for none of the equipment that I'm putting in this machine. But all that information is somewhere online. You just have to know how to find it. All right, here we go. All right, check this out. This right here, this connector, is the main power for the motherboard. That's the main cable. This one right here controls all of this stuff up here. All of these things. It also controls, actually, no, it doesn't control that part. It just controls all of this, all the USBs and stuff. So that, I mean, it's not my computer, and I have no clue who's going to buy this, but there's another way to do that so it doesn't look like that. Now, let me show you what mine looks like. It's the same with the GPU plug. I've made a video on this. Let me grab my Glock so I can get some light in here. Come on, got the light on. There we go. Now, see that connector? That is a 90-degree angle cable so that I can plug that in without the cables looking all bunched up like that. I've got the same exact thing on my GPU. Look at those. Those two right there. The 90-degree, it turns the cable down so it ain't sticking up in the air. So it makes it look a whole lot neater. Look how neat that looks. That looks much neater. So that is something that I could do here. You get those connectors on Amazon. I forget what they're called. Do I have one laying around? As a matter of fact, no, I don't. Yeah, you can get them on Amazon. They're 90-degree. Some of them do 180-degree. Depends on what you want. But it makes it look a whole lot neater. Now, I'm not upset about this. I mean, it's going to look neat when I get done. But it could look neater, is what I'm saying. Especially the one for the GPU when I put it in. But you'll see that. So, back to the build. Here's another very important connector. This connector, as you can see, it's located on the bottom edge of the board right there. This is where the power button, the reset button, the speaker, the hard drive LED, the case LED, everything plugs up to that connector. And you've got to plug each one of those pins into the exact right spot for all the stuff to work on the case and inside the case. So again, this is why you need the motherboard manual. You got to have this stuff in order to know what you're messing with. I mean, if you can see, I can't see the little bitty tiny words they have on the motherboard. They got some of this stuff printed on the board, and if you can see it, you can kind of figure out what to plug in where. But you see those polarities, like the hard drive LED, plus and minus? You got to get that polarity right, or the LED won't work. So, just another important thing about the manual you need. So I'm about to hook that connector up now. Here we go. Okay, here's that connector. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, that's the connector that I was just showing you. And the speaker's already plugged in. And now I've got to plug a bunch of tiny little wires into each one of those pins to make sure that I get those right. And I still haven't, I'm probably about ready to tighten my power supply down. I still haven't. It's still moving around. Got my GPU in, and I'm going to bolt that bad boy thing. I'm not worried about that rear connector being broke because I got plenty screws up here to hold that thing. It ain't coming out. I ain't worried about that at all. And it ain't going to sag because this is going to hold it in place. So I ain't got to worry about it. It ain't that heavy of a GPU, so I'm not really worried about that. But she's coming together, as you can see. Looks a heck of a lot neater than what Bubba had going on. Good Lord. You know, I had to make sure that I kept those cables out of the way of those fans so that they don't rub up against those fans. See what's going on with this one right here. Oh, I haven't tightened this one down yet, so that will disappear like it just did right there. So let me see here. Do I want to tighten the GPU down now? Yeah, I guess I can. I can get my hands in there and get to this connector with no problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and start tightening this stuff down, and then it's gonna be time to address the back of the computer. So here we go. Okay, boys and girls, we are coming along pretty much done on the inside of the case. Now, let's compare this to what it looked like before I got started. Let's see here, get that straight. So I'm gonna do a shot of both. But yeah, this has been unbubberized. Here's that cable sticking up that I told you that can be remedied if somebody wanted to do that. But for the most part, with everything connected now, this is what it looks like. So that is just night and day different from when we started. Now, I'm still working on the back here. So I've got my plan lined up on what I'm gonna do back here. But all I gotta do is dress this up. I've got everything kind of laid out as to what I want to do and how I'm going to do it. Let me see here. That one's going to go there. And these are going to go off to the side. There's not enough connectors on this motherboard for all the fans, so they've got this kind of daisy chain system where I've got to plug it into these plugs here. So I'm laying that out, but I'm just about done here. This is going to be, the thing about it is I could really use this box because in the front here, it had 2 CD-ROMs and some gizmo crap that had that burnt wire that I remember I showed you. Wasn't about to stick that back in here. But I've got devices where this would be like one of my work towers because I can insert hard drives from other computers into one of the bays. I've got a bay with removable drives, but it already also has this, which is a removable drive area. And as a matter of fact, here's the cable, the SATA cable. It's plugged into the motherboard right now. So I can slip, as a matter of fact, hold on a second. Let me go grab a drive and show you what that looks like. Okay, so let me keep my fingers out of the way. So this is an old SATA drive. Let me get it turned around the right way. If I want to read data off this drive, I just stick it in here like that. Bam. I am now reading that drive. The motherboard supports hot swapping, which is the unplugging and plugging in of hard drives without turning the computer on. If your motherboard doesn't support hot swap, you can't do that. You have to turn the computer off, put the drive in, and then turn it back on. But this motherboard supports hot swapping. So I could do that. So it reads the old style hard drive, which comes in handy when you're working on a computer and you're going to wipe the thing completely clean. You can plug the hard drive into it, back up everything, and when you go to restore it, you just plug it back in. Or after you get everything reinstalled, you plug it back in and drag everything back over there. It also supports, I'm trying to do this in the dark. Let me see here. Let me put some more light so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So it also supports, so you can see the connectors right there. So now let me see if I can line this up. It's tricky. Well, darn, it will do it. Oh, let me make sure I got it turned the right way. Yeah. It should just slide right down into it. I probably just don't have it lined up right. Well, anyone who is a computer guy knows that this will work. Hold on. Let me set the phone down here, plug it in, and then let you see what it looks like plugged in. Hold on. Aha, got it. To help you align See, it's the first time I've ever done it. I just knew that's what it would do. To help you align it, you put this edge of the hard drive against the case, and it automatically lines it up so that you don't have to be fooling with it the way I did. If you put the regular size SATA in there, this opening is the perfect size, so it just automatically lines up. So that's a nice feature. You got that, plus you've got 4 USB. Let me see what kind we got here. We got 2 3.0s and 2 2.0s. You got 4 USB. Let's see what else we got here. Hard drive LED. You got a reset switch and power, so you can turn the. No, that's not. You don't turn that off. That's a LED. It lights up when the hard drive activity is going. So I've got drives, USB. I've got a ton of USB in the back of this thing. Let me show you how many USB I got in the back of it. Let me get around here. Get around here some more. So I need to put some more light on it. Let's bring the light back here. There. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3.0 USB. I've got display port. Is that another USB? And I got 2 display ports. This will work as a USB. So I've actually got 5 back here. Then of course the video card's got 3 display port and 1 HDMI. So I mean you could hook 6 monitors up to this computer. 6 monitors up to this thing. Now, let me squeeze back around. In my setup, on my junky desk, I have 4. That's all I need. I got my security. I got the 2 that I mainly use. Got my TV, so that I don't have to turn around and watch this TV. As if I need all these TVs. This office gets warm, which I love, because I can't stand cold. I can stand the hottest of hot, but I cannot stand cold. So I like the fact that I walk in here and it's like a little mini heat wave hits you, and my wife complains about it, but I tell her this office ain't for you anyway. So there. But this would make a great computer repairman's computer because of all the different things that you could do with it, and it's fast. And let me spin it back around here some more. You can put a ton of drives in this thing. I mean a ton. And then let me spin around and show you my junky office again. Hey, Fancy, say hi to the folks while you're hogging my armrest. Like being on an airplane with you. Anyway, I have tons of old drives. I mean, like, they're all like a terabyte in size. So, I could keep all kinds of utilities. I could keep space for backing up stuff. I mean, man, this would be a great computer for doing that. But I can really do it with my computer I have now. I mean, instead of having the bay in the front and this on top, my last computer had this on top. I ended up selling that one. And now I have hard drive caddies that I use to pull drives in and out. And it's all hot swappable. But yeah, this would be one heck of a computer repair guy's kind of computer. Plus it's fast. Plus you can play games on it. I mean, you can do a lot. That joker look night and day different. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Night and day different from that mess that he had going on. Boy, don't let Bubba build your gaming machine, man. But yeah, I'm still got the dilemma. I'm gonna put a CD-ROM in here, and then I'm either gonna have to find out who manufactures this case and see if I can get some spacers, or if there are some universal spacers that I can find, or I might stick a card reader in here, the kind that reads every kind of card there is. The only problem with that is when you get those card readers that read every kind of card there is, they usually want a USB slot. And I've used both of my USB slots. The CPU took up one. Correction, have I? Yeah. The CPU took up one, and then the other one here goes to these USBs up here. So I've used them all. So what I would have to do, which is what I was looking at online, is I would have to buy a USB splitter. This one here takes one USB and turns it into two. And then you could put that inside, mount that inside the machine here and plug into that if you wanted to do that. So I'm debating. I'm going to see if I can figure out who manufactures this case. It's one of the few cases I've seen where they don't stick their name all over the daggone thing. It's a computer builder's case, so that's why they don't usually put a name on it. But I gotta see what I can find. See if I can find out who manufactures it. It's an older case too, so it ain't like I can look online and probably find it real easy. But yeah, she's looking night and day different in there. Once I get it all put together, I'll turn it on, let y'all see what it looks like. 850 watt power supply. That is a hunkering power supply. You know, I build stuff like this, then I hate to sell it. You know, it's like, man, that's nice. It is just nice, but I can't really, I don't have the room to use it. And I already got one that does what it does. You know, main thing is, like where my other computer used to be, it used to sit down here. And now what sits down there, move this out of the way, along with my headphones. Let's see if I can keep my fingers out of the camera. Okay. Now what's in that? Back up. Fancy. Now what sits down there is my APC. Quit trying to walk in front of the camera, girl. Battery backup. Now, what most of you are used to seeing is little bitty ones like this. Used to seeing little small ones like that. This hunkering thing right here is about $1,500. But it will keep my office going for 23 hours if the power ever goes out. I never need 23 hours. And I even got my refrigerator plugged into it. So yeah, that's a massive. It's got like 6 car batteries in it. It's just, this thing is crazy huge. But yeah, I hate to let it go, but it would be stupid for me to keep it when somebody out there could use it. Pretty sure. Well, I know. But like I said, a computer repair guy would really be able to use something like this. And when I say computer repair guy, I'm talking about that neighborhood guy who really don't do it for a living, but knows what they're doing. This would be ideal. I mean, this would cover every situation. 32 gig of RAM on it too. Man, this joke is bad. 12 core processor. 12 core processor. Man, this thing is bad. It's bad. Yeah, but okay. Let me clean up the back. Let you see what that looks like. And wrap this puppy up. Here we go. So check it out, boys and girls. I went and looked at some motherboard boxes that I have that I usually keep all the parts in. And I found 2 spare covers that just so happen to fit this case. So I'm able to cover up that gaping hole without having to add anything extra. You know, it's just got the, I want to say that's a Blu-ray. It's a Blu-ray player. I'm pretty sure it's a burner too, but it doesn't say that it's a burner. So if it ain't a burner, I mean, I don't know how many people still burn the CDs. I know I burn them like crazy because I got a 6 CD changer in my Cayenne. So I'm burning CDs like crazy. If that doesn't have a burner built in, I might have to put a burner in, because I've got, as a matter of fact, there was a burner in it. Let's see here. Ugh. It might have been why there were two in there. Okay, this is a burner, and it was in there. I wasn't going to put it back in, but we'll see. We'll see if that Blu-ray player has a burner, but as you can see, the front of it's nice and clean now. So now let me get on to that Ubuntu install. Here we go. Okay, boys and girls, we are ready to turn this puppy on. I have almost finished in the back here, getting everything all nice and neaty, wrapped up as neaty as it can be given what I have. I have, though, two cables. This cable here is a SATA cable. It's going to stay back here because this is where all the hard drives and stuff plugs in. So I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to wrap it up yet. And then this one's going to go inside the case where the, as you can see, I've got a Blu-ray player, burner, whole deal there. It's going to go there. And maybe I'll get a card reader here. I don't know. I got to see what I can find, see if I can find out who made this case, and if I can replace some of the parts. But I don't have the hard drive installed, so all the hard drive bays are empty. I have it plugged in up here at the top. Now here's the sweet thing about this. Let's say I want to use this computer to run multiple operating systems. Maybe I'm experimenting with Linux. Well, I've got Windows 10 on that hard drive right there. All I have to do is unplug that, turn the computer off, unplug that, plug another drive in, and I could install, let's say, Ubuntu, a Linux operating system. I could do all kinds of experimenting without messing up my computer. And when I need to go back to my computer, I just plug the drive in and I've got my computer. I'm not experimenting with my main drive. So just to prove that would work, so there's no hard drives in the bays, I just plugged it in up top there. I'm going to see if the computer will boot to it. Let's hit the power button. Here we go. Power. Oh, wait. Got to turn the power supply on. So turn on the power supply. And, of course, when you turn on the power supply, the Rogue motherboards have some kind of design that lights up on them, changes colors. Okay, now I'm going to hit the power button. There she goes. Keep my light down here. I'm going to turn the light off. Where's it at? There we go. So the case fans light up. There's one there and there's two in the front here, which, yeah, those light up. So anybody whose team colors are red, hear that one beep? That means something's going to show up on the screen. And as you can see, since I'm doing it this way, the first time that I boot this, I have to go into the BIOS. Where's my mouse? There it is. So I'm going to go into the BIOS by hitting F1. I'm going to go down to easy mode, and I'm going to say boot, boot, boot. Where is it at? Where is it at? I'm trying to look. Oh, boot menu, here you go. And then I'm going to tell it to boot to that drive right there. All I got to do is click it, and it starts booting to it. And bam, we're in Windows. You see how fast that puppy booted? Good grief. And the RGB's doing its thing. But yeah, we're in Windows. See how fast that sucker booted? Man, it's a nice box, man. It's a nice box. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'll put it on eBay or make it a local pickup only. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. If somebody wants this puppy, I don't know how long it'll last, because somebody's going to snatch this up pretty quick. But if you see this video and you want this puppy, contact me in the comment section. Because this is a nice box. Like I said, I wish I could keep it. But it just would be stupid for me to do so because I got pretty much the same thing. Only I got a 9.9. I've got an Intel processor in mine. But, man, this is nice. This is nice. And you can see it don't look like Bubba put it together either. Y'all saw the whole thing go together. So you know what the deal is. Video card ain't going nowhere. That sucker ain't moving. It's in there tight. Even though what happened was Bubba tried to take the card out and didn't know how. He didn't know you had to hit that release and just yanked it out of there and broke that release. But yeah, that puppy's in there. It ain't moving. There are 2 screws holding it down. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Let me cut the light off so you can see the inside of it again. But yeah, having that. Having the ability to boot multiple operating systems, is that sweet or what? Now that's sweet. Now that's something I could probably do with mine, but I call myself getting around to doing a whole lot of things that I never get around to, which is why I don't need to keep this machine because it'll sit and collect dust, and I won't want to get rid of it because it's nice. But somebody could be using it. But, yeah, there's the inside of it. So that's night and day difference from when I picked it up to now. Now it's ready to be sold. Cut this light off again so you can see what that looks like. I'm going to see if I can find the manufacturer of this case, replace the side glass, and if I can put a card reader up here that doesn't have a USB on it, I'll put one up here. I don't know. If not, like I said, there's going to be something there. It ain't going to be a gaping hole that you can look through. There's going to be something in there. But, yeah. It's ready to go. Let's see what check that internet speed out. Ow, get my fingers all in the way. Let's check that internet speed out one more time. Let's see here, get my mouse situated. I need to make the mouse bigger so I can see it. Alrighty. And let's go to speed. Is it already there? Nope. Test. Oh, no wonder. I don't have the network cable plugged in. Let's plug that puppy in. Network cable. I'm surprised Google's homepage came up. Well, this thing has built-in Wi-Fi, but I haven't connected it to my Wi-Fi. So that's just another feature. Let's see. That's another feature that it has. Here's your Wi-Fi antennas go right here. It's got 2 of them. Let's plug up network. There we go. So it should have picked up an IP address by now, and sure enough, the site I was going to just showed up. So let's see what that internet speed's looking like today. Go. Let me click on the go. There we go. That's what she's looking like. Oh, yeah. Well, we almost got up to 900. Why did it slow down? Yeah, so back to 7s. So we got up to 796. Actually, we were in the 900s. Look at that upload speed, y'all. That upload speed is ridiculous. That's why this long video will go up to YouTube so fast. My upload speed's out the house. So, yeah. Oh, get this window out the way. Golly. Stupid. See, I've got a pop-up blocker that will kill all of that. But, yeah. Check out them download and upload speeds, boy. Yes, baby. This bad boy kicks butt. Man, somebody be tickled pink to get a hold of this bad boy. Let me know if you want it. You the first one. Junkman will hook you up. So the moral of the story is, don't let Bubba build your gaming PCs, because Bubba don't know what he's doing. And Bubba got a car business too. He repairs cars. All you mechanics out there, y'all seen Bubba's work. Bubba had wires going across your engine and looking all crazy, and duct tape. This computer had duct tape in it, remember? Hey, come on, Bubba. All right, this is the Junkman. Shout it out.